Good evening, dear students. Once again, I welcome you all to this Friday session of English to English conversation. Today, we are going to take care of one more editorial which represents the current ongoing pandemic, that is COVID-19. And the title of this editorial is No Room for Bravado. Bravado means boldness, audacity. On India easing COVID-19 restrictions. So recently India has eased down restrictions which were put there on regarding COVID-19. So those restrictions have been lifted, right? Those restrictions have been eased down. So let's just have a motivational quote and then we will begin the session. Today is the session in which only English to English conversation will take place. So we will not go into any mind maps. We will directly discuss the editorial one-on-one. So if you are all ready, write in the comments, ready. Buenas noches, bonjour. The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Once you start learning something, if you learn something, no one can ever take it from you. So that is the biggest advantage of learning something. And right now, we are all in the phase of learning a language, learning a verbal ability, which will help you get your selection. So yes, bravado means gasconade. Yes. So dear students, today it is about still remaining careful and vigilant in spite of the fact that COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted, have been eased down to a very good extent. We still need to be careful. It has chances of resurgence, reoccurrence. So what are the aspects being taken care of in this editorial? Those will be discussed today. No room for bravado. Bravado means a kind of boldness. So you cannot be careless, you cannot be bold, saying I will not be careful and I will just be open-handed to doing everything and anything. On India easing COVID-19 restrictions, recently India has eased down restrictions related to COVID-19 in many states. As long as, when you use this term, as long as it represents the condition, that is if. So if the virus is in wide circulation around the world, so as long as the virus is in circulation, somewhere mild, somewhere severe, if it is in circulation, India should not lower its guard. So should not be careless. Okay, should not be careless. So India still need to be careful. Signaling means indicating. Indicating the end of the third wave that began in the last days of 2021. Dear students, second wave was witnessed in the month of February, March 2021. And then third wave began in the month of December or November, that is 2021, right? So indicating the end of the third wave now, the government on February 16, that is day before yesterday, asked states to review and amend. Amends mean modify, change, modify or alter, or end additional COVID-19 restrictions. So on this day, Government of India had instructed all the states to review the situation, to make certain amendments so as to ease down restrictions if not so needed. Restrictions that hinder. Dear students, hinder means obstruct. See, if you are doing something and your friend disturbs you, then that friend has become a hindrance for you. So right now, restrictions that hinder the free movement of people and economic activities may no longer be necessary. Those obstacles, those restrictions which allow you not to move freely, and if those things are not necessary, considering that the third wave seems to be truly coming to an end. See, restrictions are being lifted considering the fact that third wave effect of COVID-19 is easing down, right? So it has not become or not remained much severe as it was previously, and that is why government noted that if you want to lift certain restrictions, then you can, and this is what the instruction was provided by Government of India to all these states. So that is how the first paragraph was. Dear students, today we are having a conversation, or I should not say conversation, it's just a one-way flow. So whatever discussion I am leading is in English. So if you are able to understand the first paragraph, you are having no difficulty, then write in the comments next so that I can continue with the next slide of this PPT. And dear students, there are more than 50 students live. I request you all, like the video, share the video. If something good is happening, share it and spread it and like it. Okay, next. From less than 7,000 daily fresh cases in the 4th week of December 2021, there was a time in the month of December 2021 when there were less than 7,000 fresh cases in the 4th week. The number of cases began rising sharply, and this number began rising, increasing sharply, speedily in the last days of 2021, that is December, and increased exponentially, means rapidly, or I can say abruptly, before peaking, means rising to the top on January 20. So January 20 was a time within a span of 1 month it had risen to almost top of its so far count, and that is how it had increased so much so that government had to start putting all the restrictions again, and that is how the situation came up on 20th of Jan with over 3,40,000 cases recorded. So there were 3,40,000 cases recorded as on 20 June. The decline in daily fresh cases too witnessed a sharp fall after peaking. See, you can all see that there was immediate rise in the number of daily cases. At the same time, there was immediate reduction in the number of cases that were reported daily, right? So there were two things taking place at the same time, one reaching the peak and one coming down from the peak. So there was one bad thing, one good thing, and now there is no another peak coming, and that is why maybe Indian government has decided to lift certain restrictions, keeping in mind the district or state level scenario. So it's a decentralized approach. See dear students, when the centralized approach is there, means one authority will take decisions for all the factors, all the areas. But if the decentralized approach is there, then looking at the area's requirement, authority will decide whatever actions it wants to take based on that scenario or that region's conditions, right? That is how it happens. So let us move further. But relying, when you say rely means to depend. Relying entirely on daily fresh cases might give a misleading picture. So if you specifically depend or take your decisions based on daily number of cases, then you may go in the wrong direction. That would turn out to be misleading picture, as the government revised the testing strategy on January 20. Because on the 10th of January, even the strategy of testing was also revised. See dear students, COVID-19 situation was such that based on number of tests conducted on a daily basis, there would come an outcome which would help you decide whether the situation is worsening or situation is getting better. So it is not just COVID-19 spread, it is also number of tests conducted on a daily basis, and that strategy was revised on 10th of Jan, which makes only those with symptoms and certain at-risk contexts of laboratory confirmed cases eligible for a test. So the revised strategy was in such a way that if you are having certain symptoms, then only test will be conducted. If you are into contact with some persons who are at risk of COVID-19 because of any reason, then only your COVID-19 test will be conducted. Otherwise, there won't be any COVID-19 test. And that is how it's natural that number of cases coming positive would reduce. Dear students, till this point of time, till this point of a paragraph, if you are able to understand, then please write in the comments. Go ahead. The sale of self-test kits. See, now self-test kits are also available in the market, right? So sale of the same soared means rise, increased rapidly in many cities, but there is some negative. The reporting of the results by their users was poor. See, if I am taking a self-test kit, if I test negative, definitely there is no issue at all. But if I test positive, many a time, to escape the quarantine, I may not even inform the authorities, and that is what was witnessed. People were taking self-test kits at home. While testing, if they turned positive or they were found positive, then they would not intimate or inform to the concerned authorities, that is municipal corporation department, city-wise, right? So if they did not inform, then the right measure or right calculation would not come to the government. And that is how, if you rely on these numbers, then there is a problem. And that is why Hindu editorial is also focusing on the fact that you cannot be careless. Just because of the cases of, number of cases reducing on a daily basis, you cannot feel or think that it is all normal. So let's go further. Additionally, the mild means not so severe nature of the disease in many fully vaccinated and previously infected people might have led to complacency. Complacency means self-satisfaction. See, many a time what happens, dear students, is that you are completely satisfied with your performance. If you are satisfied with your performance, then you would not, or you will not work more, and that is how your capacity to work or grow will reduce. So mild nature of disease in those people who are fully vaccinated or those people who have been previously infected with this COVID-19 virus may also have been the reason for your complacency or self-satisfaction. And a reluctance means unwillingness to get tested, and that is why many people would have not decided or have decided not to get themselves tested. So that also might have been the reason that the number of cases is reducing. So if you decide based on that thing, then maybe you would go in the wrong direction. Yes, sham, complacency means gloating, smugness. You are full of something, you are completely satisfied with something. Despite means in spite of the limitation in the measurement of cases. See, there is some limitation in the measurement of cases because there is no transparency on 100% level possible, and at that point of time there are certain facts and figures which would not come to the surface, and if they do not come to the surface, then your decision making would also suffer. So that is what is happening. Despite the limitations in the measurement of cases, the sustained means continued, consistent, continued decline in the number of cases and in the positivity rate since the third wave peaked does indicate that the third wave is nearing its end, right? At the same time, when there is decline, sustained means continued decline in the number of cases, daily number of positive cases is also declining, and at the same time positivity rate since the third wave peaked thus indicate that the third wave is nearing its end. So there are two indicators: one, number of cases declining, and the rate of positivity. See, if 100 people or 100 persons have been tested against COVID-19, and if 60 people or 60 persons are found positive, then the positivity rate is 60%. So this positivity rate is also decreasing. Both these things are enough for us or for the nation as a whole to understand that somewhere third wave is coming to an end. For the first time since the third wave peaked, see, for the first time when the third wave was at its peak, right, the 7-day average test positivity rate nationally fell below 5%. 7-day constant positivity rate fell below 5%. So if 100 persons were tested, only 5 would be found positive and other 95 would be found negative in terms of COVID-19, and that is a very good sign. And that was the figure based on the data provided as on 12th of Feb. It was 3% on February 16. It further got reduced to 3% the day before yesterday. So that is a very good sign for all of us, for the nation, for the global level condition as well. So dear students, if you are able to understand till this point of time, then again you have to write in the comments next, so that I can continue with the next slide. And I hope you are all able to grasp and understand whatever I am discussing. And you must have seen that when mind maps are not there and English to English conversation or translation is there, I mean English to English discussion is there, then without even mind map we can complete the passage in a decent amount of time. So sustained means, yes, kept in existence, keep in existence, keep it in continuance. But 16 states still report a 7-day average test positivity rate above the national average. See, the national average is 3% to 5%, right? And there are certain states which report more than this percentage. So there is still a matter of concern there. It is very high in the Union Territory of Puducherry, that is 28%, Mizoram 26%, Odisha 19%, and Kerala 18%, right? So this percentage is still very high, so we need to be still careful of this fact, and that is why the title of the passage is No Room for Bravado. Let us go further. The true indicator, the true signal that India has reached the fag end. The fag end means ending part, and generally ending part is very uninteresting or not interesting. Of the third wave is reflected in the reduced number of hospitalizations, and the true indication that third wave is nearing its fag end. See, many a time, dear students, in some programs, if there is a program of 5 hours, then in the last 1 hour or last 30 minutes there is not much interest at all in the audience regarding the program. So we can say the program has reached its fag end, right, of the third wave is reflected in the reduced number of hospitalizations. So the waning means reduction, means decline of the third wave caused by the extremely infectious Omicron variant should be no reason to lull. Lull means bring down India into complacency. So mere fact that waning, that is there is reduction in Omicron variant, should not be the reason for you to become complacent, to become self-satisfied, to become relaxed. That is what the editorial wants to convey here. Let us go further. The notion means the belief, the concept, the opinion, that India's enhanced surveillance means observation or inspection, manpower and infrastructure can fight any possible COVID-19 wave. So if we believe that our surveillance system, that is testing, tracking and treating, right, triple T, and infrastructure regarding hospitalization can fight any possible COVID-19 waves in future, not only reeks of, means indicates, indicates overconfidence, but also is a dangerous thing, right? So if you think that your system, your infrastructure, your medical team, your triple T model is going to be able to beat any type of COVID-19 wave, then it's a sign of, it reeks of overconfidence. It can be said that you are overconfident. That is not a good sign, and also it's a dangerous thing to think in that way. Okay, so Manish Pandey says, sir, can you take daily sessions in English? Dear Manish, definitely I can conduct these kind of sessions in English on a daily basis, but considering many students who are not from English medium background, even those who are from Gujarati medium or Hindi medium background, they are quite not comfortable all the time with this English language, because many a time they need translation. So if I am not able to translate in Hindi or Gujarati, then their interest in learning this difficult language, this complex language would become even more difficult. So I do not want that. So as a part of keeping your interest in this language, only on this Friday I do take lecture which is English to English. So I hope you get my point, Manish. Let's go further. A virus is continuously evolve. Evolve means develop. And what shade and characteristics the next variant will have, means what kind of features next variant or next variety of virus will have, we are not aware of that. And the impact it will have even in a population which has a large proportion of fully vaccinated people or naturally infected is unknown. So what kind of next variant will be there, and what kind of impact it will have on those who are vaccinated, on those who are not vaccinated, is still unknown, is still unclear. So at that point of time, when you are not clear about the severity of the virus, you should not become so bravo at all. So such bravado a year ago, before the deadly second wave driven by the Delta variant resulted in a large scale loss of lives and badly impacted the livelihood of millions in India. See, the similar scenario was observed in the span of second wave. Second wave was there. At that point of time, many people had become careless, reluctant, not so much careful about COVID-19 restrictions or regulations to be followed, and that became the reason for the rapid increase in the number of cases in the during second wave. And at that specific point of time, millions of people suffered somewhere in some way in India. And I think it is not just for India, globally also the same scenario was there. So evolve means metamorphose or transmogrify. Definitely you are absolutely correct in your synonyms being used by you. As long as the virus is in wide circulation in a large percentage of the world population, see, as of now we know that still the virus is in circulation. India should not lower its guard. So India should not become careless, should not loosen its observation patterns, be strict, and even when all restrictions to free movement are removed, in spite of the fact that restrictions are removed, there are no night curfews anymore in Gujarat except Ahmedabad and Baroda, and economic activity is fully restored, still you should not lose, you should not, sir got full with likes of video. Okay. So you should not lower your guards even when free movements are allowed, and even when you think that the third wave of COVID-19 is reaching its fag end. So dear students, this was the editorial discussion which was carried on with lots of involvement of all of you, right? And now tomorrow we are not going for weekly revision of vocabs. This time I would like you all to revise the vocabs, and all the students who are appearing live or even watching offline videos, you will have vocabs test, that is vocab test, on this Sunday. Even those students who have joined afterwards, they will also be provided with this test in their application in mobile, right? So dear students, tomorrow what I have decided and what many of you would love to have is level 2 discussion of English. Certain selected jumbles would be discussed from this book, which would help you have better command over this specific type of exercise of jumbles. So dear students, if you are all ready for tomorrow, then write in the comments RFT, ready for tomorrow. Okay, RFT. Keval Thakkar says speculative or populist tone. Keval, definitely there is some populist tone to it, but rather than thinking of political sense, I would like to think in the nation's interest. And if you consider the interest of the nation, there is no election going on a national level which would anyway espouse these editorials to write in a populist tone. So I would like to go rather with the cautionary tone, that is suggestive or caution. There is some caution being provided. Okay, so tomorrow we are going on or carrying on this session of jumbles of importance which you are having difficulty solving in. Those are the jumbles we will discuss. So bravado means boldness, bold manner, boasting or bombast, bragging, daredevil, machismo or rhodomontade or gasconade. Drop lower one's guard means to become less careful, to become less vigilant. Vigilant means careful, so become less alert. Signal means indicate or show or express. Hinder means to create obstacle, that is obstruct, impede or inhibit or hamper. Or thwart means to restrict, to limit, or foil, to put in some limitation. Curtail means cut down, balk or trammel. Exponentially means very rapidly, dramatically or drastically, aggressively or abruptly. That is, in a way, something is increasing quickly, rapidly by large amounts. That is called exponentially. It's a kind of infinite thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Peak means reach the high level, climax, culminate, come to head or reach the zenith. Soar means increase or rise. Complacency, carelessness, laziness, laxity, self-satisfaction, smugness or self-regard or gloating or triumph. See, when you are completely satisfied with what you are doing, many a time you stop developing yourself, you stop improving yourself, and that is called self-satisfaction. So if you want to retain certain vocabs in your memory, then one vocab is laxity, one is self-regard or gloating, triumph. Triumph means victory. See, when you have this sense of victory, you stop growing because you feel you have done or you are done. Reluctance means you are not willing to do something, you don't wish to do something productive. So unwillingness or disinclination is a very good word. Hesitation, timidity or demurral, vacillation, there is some kind of I can say confusion going on, and that's why don't populist means the things related to common people. Definitely it relates to the common people, but not just populist means common people. It also resounds the mentality that you want to relate to the common people, but right now it's a common sense approach which just not relates to the common people, but it's something which is considered implicit. Dear Keval, when I say implicit, it means it does not have to be appealed from outside. It is something which is very apparent. So if something is very apparent, something is very evident, then we do not go for approach or an approach which is populist, and that's why I am not going on or continuing with this tone of populist. Let's continue further. Sustained. Sustained means constant or continuous or continued, or I can say persistent. Fag end. See, many a time drama is going on somewhere, but last 10 to 15 minutes are so boring. So you can say it's a fag end. So last part of something, particularly when considered as less significant or less interesting. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 vocabs done here. Let us go further. Waning. Waning means decrease, lessening, weakening, disappearance, subsiding, slackening or attenuating or evanescing. So all these words indicate there is some reduction, that is reducing. So I hope Keval Thakkar, you are you are done with this tone discussion. I hope you are satisfied with what I am discussing. Maybe, see, when the tone is there, it's a matter of opinion. Ultimately, there are no fixed answers when we go for tones. So how you perceive the paragraph will decide what would be your answer. So I would not say your answer is wrong. Rather I would say, okay, so Keval says, got it, thank you sir. Okay, thank you dear. So lull means to lessen, reduce, diminish, ease or mitigate or bring something down. Notion means idea, belief or concept or opinion, view, presumption or hypothesis or kind of hunch. Surveillance means monitoring, observations or vigilance or supervision. So wiretapping is also there, infiltration is also there, and espionage. In Hindi I would like to call it jasusi. Reek of, filled with something, so be an indicative of something unpleasant or undesirable. If something undesirable is happening, then I can say it reeks of mismanagement, it reeks of overconfidence, self-confidence or whatever. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's it, tone of the passage. See, the tone of the passage is something which is guiding you in the form of remain alert. So I can say alerting or cautionary. So that's it dear students. I hope you are done with this specific session. So let's move on with the next topic that will be taken care of tomorrow, in which we will be taking care of jumbles from level 2 book, and certain jumbles have been or will be selected tomorrow, which many of you students are having difficulty with, and that is how tomorrow's session will be conducted. So till then, this is Abhay Shah signing off. See you soon tomorrow in the evening. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.